this edition of Medium at Heart, why is there a Junior Whopper on set today? And a guest shares her experience talking to Annette after her father passed and found a way to get a message to his daughter. This is going to be, so heartwarming. Annette. Hi, Annette.
Hi, Angela. How are you?
Good. My sister Annette is the medium in Medium at Heart. And the heart, too. You're both of those things.
Well, thank you very much. This is my amazing sister.
It's so nice to be back. Delighted to be here with you today. And Annette, we wanted to talk about our dad.
Yes, absolutely.
It was his birthday recently. And Annette and I, when we celebrate our loved ones who've passed, we think food is such an important part of that process. And we like to celebrate them, remember them by sharing stories around their favorite foods.
Yes, I feel it brings everybody together.
Food, yes, food does
Right.
that. And so one of the things my dad loved, he had a diet growing up that was very healthy. He had the Mediterranean diet growing up, both of his parents from Italy. But as he got older, he really developed a liking for Burger King Junior Whopper. By the way, the fries did not make it to the set. It did come with fries, but they didn't make it to the set.
You know, when you and Joe would go to Ireland and England in the summers with Mom, because I was too young, Dad used to take me to Burger King maybe once or twice a week. We'd have dinner. And this is going way back. And I don't know if you remember this, but when you would order, they had like those cash registers with the microphone. And she took our order and I turned to Dad and I'm like, why isn't she singing? Because remember the commercial when we were younger, the woman would be dressed in her Burger King uniform and she would sing into the microphone what you
Yes.
wanted. And Dad just got a kick out of it. And I never forgot it because Dad just laughed so hard. And I was like, you know, what's so funny?
Well, because it was have it your way.
Yes.
Have it your way. By the way, we are not being endorsed by Burger King.
No.
We
just like them.
So yesterday when I did the drive-through, because Dad usually did the drive-through, I did get a little bit extra for us. And this is a great way to think about Dad. And I find that when you get someone's favorite food, when you celebrate your loved one who's passed, all of these stories start to come up.
I haven't thought about that story since in a really long time. And then when you brought it, I was like, oh my goodness.
Yes, Burger King. And Dad was really healthy. He was able to eat these foods once in a while because he was healthy. He also loved Hershey bars. And he wasn't really supposed to be eating these. And we would find Hershey bar wrappers in the car. Do you remember?
All the time.
My mom would find them.
Yeah.
And he would sometimes get in trouble.
And he'd say, I'm fine.
And he was.
He was fine. Totally
He knew what he liked. He knew how to have these joyful moments. So we're celebrating my dad on set today with a little Junior Whopper. And who doesn't really love chocolate sometimes, right? So as we talk about our dad and celebrate our dad, we do have a guest today. We're delighted to have a guest on our show today who has a beautiful story, actually several stories, about reconnecting with her dad. And we want to welcome Robin to the Medium at Heart podcast.
Hi,
Hi,
Robin.
ladies. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good to see you. We have to
I'm
put our
good.
headsets on.
Sorry. Hang on.
By the way, producer Ben is making all this happen. Thank you, Ben. We have to say thank you to our
Thanks,
producer,
Ben.
Ben, who's so good to us.
Anytime.
So, Robin, welcome.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
So you have a very moving story. And so let me ask you, how did you meet Annette? Do you mind if I ask you that? How did you get to know Annette?
I remember the first time I met Robin. I had started coaching cheer, and she was already coaching her daughter on cheer. She was a level up or two from me. And she just came over. I don't know if she was assigned to me or something, but she just helped me so much because I didn't know what I was doing really. She just
No.
was always there for me from the first day I started till we finished coaching them, when they went to high school. So Robin's been a big part of my life and so helpful in so many ways.
That's so lovely.
Yeah. She's a
Yeah,
good
I
friend.
remember when I started, I wish that I had
Yes.
the book that I had that I shared with everyone else. I didn't have it. I had to create it myself. So it was a very helpful SOP, if you will, for cheer
Yes.
coaches.
Yeah.
And then how did you come to know what Annette's gift is?
Well, actually, Adrian and Lori, her other girlfriends, who I'm also friends with, were talking about it one day, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" They're like, "Oh yeah, and that is a medium." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "Oh, she talks to dead people." I'm like, I said, "Really?" And they're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "That's cool." So that was kind of my beginning intro to her being a medium and what she could do.
And tell us about the experience that you had with Annette and your dad.
The most memorable one is my father was jumped, if you will. He was out at my nephew's baseball game and then went to go watch a baseball game with his friends. So that was where we thought he was. And my mother got a call in the middle of the night that he was in the hospital and they had to do emergency surgery and they wanted her permission. So this was at like 3 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday morning. And so we all were thrown in an uproar and went to the hospital and basically were waiting for him to pass. And as we were all gathered around him, I said, "Go find my friend Annette. She will, connect you to us." I'm like, "Go find Annette. Go find Annette." I must have said it like 10 times, and my father was a good listener. Um, and before I even left the hospital, Annette was texting me, telling me that my father came to her and said that he wanted such and such watch with him when he, at the funeral parlor. And I had no idea what she was talking about. And I asked my mother, and she's like, "I know exactly what she's talking about. He won that on
Wow.
a cruise ship in a blackjack tournament." I said, "What?"
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy, but I didn't even leave the hospital yet. I was in the car driving out of the parking lot. So it was pretty quickly he
That
reached out to her.
yeah, that story stayed with me. That story was very heartfelt to me.
Me too.
That Robin said that and he did it. Yeah, that's a good story.
Well, that's
It
very
is a good story.
powerful. So, Robin, from that, what did you think? What did you feel from that
I was
experience?
I was like, "How does she know this?" And I'm like, it like didn't even dawn on me why she knew. I'm like, "Who told her?" I'm thinking to myself, "Who told her that he passed?" Because he literally just had passed. I told basically no one. So I'm like, "How does she know?" Like it like didn't even click in my head that that's how she knew.
He was a strong energy. He wanted to let you know as soon as
Y
possible
Yes,
to bring
I'm
you
sure
the
that he was
yes, to
because
bring you that
he
comfort.
he didn't get to say anything to us, so
Yeah.
he definitely wanted to make his presence known. So I was glad for that.
But I have to really say, Robin, for you to ask him to do that, that was very thoughtful. Did that just
Well,
kind of come to you to know to do that, to find
I
Annette?
I just knew that she would tell me that he came to her or just any stories about him. I just knew that I would hear about that he was okay and that he made it to the other side and that he was with his parents and that he was with my aunt. Like I knew that it would be bring me comfort to know that he was okay because his manner of death was so shocking to us. It was like a, episode of Law and Order. So it was a shock. So that was the only way I could think to get information about him was to tell him to go find Annette that I knew she would reach out to him.
Oh, and he did. Yes, he did.
And now, can you tell me from how it went for you? So it was the middle of the night, right? Was it the
I
middle
think
of
it
the night?
was late. Yeah, I
It was
just
2
felt
days later
oh yeah, I felt
that he finally passed.
yes.
Wow.
I just felt his energy and I felt Robin, so I knew it was connected to Robin. I felt the father love and Robin, so I'm like, okay, it's her dad. And he was so nice and kind and just was like, you need to get this message to her immediately. And I did that. And I think I
Yes,
had
she did.
told Robin, I don't know if I gave you some other messages prior to that or after that, but yeah, he just wanted you to know immediately, especially under the
Yeah,
conditions.
yeah.
And then there's another story, Robin, I know that you share about. Does it have to do something with, was it
I
sunglasses?
think yes, something.
Yes, my father was peculiar in that if he saw anyone wearing a pair of sunglasses that he liked, he would immediately want to try them on. So he would just take your sunglasses and try them on himself,
That's so
and
great.
he might keep them, he might give them back, you never knew. So I was leaving to go to a football game to actually go and meet up with Annette at the field. And I have a mirror by my front door and I saw these sunglasses sitting on the table near my door, and I didn't know whose they were. I tried them on. I'm like, oh, these are cute sunglasses. My dad would really like these. I didn't say the words out loud. I thought it in my head. Then I checked myself out in the mirror and I'm like, oh, my hair looks like crazy today. I'm like, I might cut it. Now, my sister is a hairdresser, so I have carte blanche to getting my hair done. So I left there and I went to the field and we were warming up. It was early. So we were all going through our practice. Annette was with her team, I was with my team, and she's like, "Oh, can I ask you a question?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, of course." So I went over there and answered whatever cheer question was because we were gearing up for competition season. So I answered whatever question. She's like, "Oh, and your dad said he likes those sunglasses and don't cut your hair." I'm like, I said,
Oh,
I
I
Oh.
didn't
just
even
got
say
chills.
that out loud. I didn't even say it out loud. It blows my mind that she even knew that. I was
Oh, that's
thinking it in
cool.
my head.
Yeah, that's cool. I love that.
Yeah,
I love when they
me
do those
too.
things because I mean that is just that is true validation,
Yeah, oh, for sure. I
right?
mean,
Because
who knew that that was gonna happen? Not
yeah,
me. I thought it in my head. Didn't say
yes,
the words out loud. Nobody heard them.
except
So it
him.
was just freaky to me. But it makes your heart so happy.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I love that.
Great guy.
And Robin, you feel your dad around you?
Oh, if anybody he's gonna be around anyone, it will be me because, I have 2 sisters, and I'm the oldest, and I look exactly like my
Mm-hmm.
father, and they like to say that I was his favorite because I was the
Aw.
first, but I don't know, maybe I was, but he did he was around me a lot. He was very close with his family. His grandchildren were his world. And it makes me so sad that he has missed so much of their lives
Mm.
that he would have been going bonkers over. He was the biggest cheerleader when we were kids, and he was the biggest cheerleader for his grandkids. So,
Yeah, it's not the same. He still is, but it's I
no,
know it's not the same.
no, it's not. I mean,
Yeah.
we think of him often, talk of him often. He just had his birthday last month. We have White Castles when it's his birthday,
Oh,
the
I
food.
love
He
that.
loved White Castles, so we have White Castles for dinner. And yeah, so I'm with you with the food.
Wow.
Good stuff.
Beautiful, beautiful
Yeah,
story, Robin.
Good stuff.
It's so
yes,
powerful.
We've shared so many years together.
we
Like
did.
I think like even just a little when she would have one side of the, you know, gym and I'd be
Jim.
in the cafeteria practicing and I'd be like, I'll be right back. And I'd go across and I'd tell Robin, something else. You have one more story about a friend of yours, don't you? I
Yeah,
believe.
yes.
Yeah.
I have a friend that I went to high school with who had the same initials as me when we were in high school. RS were our initials. And I loved her. She was so funny. And she unfortunately got breast cancer and died quite young. And I was sad that I wasn't going to make it to her wake. And I felt bad about it. I didn't say anything to anybody, just our high school friends that some people were going and some people weren't able to go. And we were at practice and Annette goes, "Oh, you have a friend with the same initials as you, RS?" I'm like, "Yeah." And she goes, "Oh, she said it's okay. She understands." I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "That's crazy, Annette." I'm like, "Get away from me."
Yeah.
Like, that is
Yes.
insane.
Oh,
That's
you
insane.
you received the messages so well. I loved telling you stuff. It was fun, heartfelt
Yeah,
fun and sad at times, but all
it
good.
was. But again, it always makes your heart happy to hear that they're okay and that they know that you're thinking about them and you still want them in your life and appreciate them. She also just
100%.
had a birthday. New Year's Day is her birthday, and I always wish her a happy heavenly birthday on Facebook. Even though she don't see it,
No,
I
she
still do it
does. Yeah.
every year.
In her way, she
Every year.
sees it. Yeah, I do agree with you. They bring you just such a sense of peace.
Yes, it really does. It makes your heart so happy.
Fantastic.
Oh,
Hmm.
Robin, that's so lovely. Thank you for sharing your stories with us.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks, Robin. It was lovely seeing you.
You too, Annette. I miss
I
you.
miss you. We have to
Come back
talk
to New
soon.
Jersey.
I am. I'll text you.
Okay, yeah, let me know when you're coming.
Okay.
Thank you, Robin, for
Thanks, my
You're
joining
welcome.
friend.
us.
Bye. You're
Bye.
Right on.
welcome.
Beautiful stories.
Those are good stories. It brings me back to when, the cheer days and some energies are just so strong. And if they want a message to come through, they're going to find me. And I'll obviously always say yes, of course. And it's a short one. I go tell it and then I go about what I was doing. And the message that they receive, that person, again, like we talked about, such a peaceful feeling.
Do you find that sometimes it comes at random times? you, like you said with Robin, and you're just going about your day.
Oh yeah, we were in the like again, we're in competition, we're training, we're teaching, and all of a sudden I feel father love, father love. So I'm like, okay, who are you for in my head? And then I feel or see Robin in my mind's eye, and I go, okay, tell me really quick what you want me to say. And then I just run over, tell her, and that's it. I don't. That used to happen a lot, like when I would go to the kids' games and stuff. But yeah, it's a great. I'm very lucky I can share this.
Yes, and probably, and they know when you're around a certain person.
Oh yes, yes.
So somebody might, if you're around a certain person or at a certain, there's an opportunity there for them.
Oh yeah, they find it. Sometimes I think once or twice, not very often, I'll have an energy come through and I don't know who they're attached to or associated with. So I just leave it alone because I feel like if it's really important and I tell them this, then you have to find me the person who you want me to give that message to.
You need a little more information.
I need a little more information.
Annette, is there, if you don't mind me asking a question,
not at all.
is there ever a time where you can't even focus? Like if you're doing something and someone wants to get a message across so strongly that it stops you in your tracks?
Yes.
Do you recall a time where that's ever happened? Like,
so I remember, okay, 2 stories. Angela, when we were really young, we were in grammar school in Irvington. And my favorite teacher, Mrs. DeFabio. And I was young, but I got this overwhelming feeling of her mother, like a motherly figure near me. And I just couldn't even concentrate on school. And I was also very young. I never said anything. I just kept it in. And I sort of was like frozen. I'll never forget that. But it also happens at a graduation party I went to. There were so many people. And there's a lot of energies. Like I feel them when I walk in a room. But this one particular energy was very, very strong. And I said it's like attached to my side. So like imagine having somebody attached. Like you feel somebody. And every second, everywhere and I was very uncomfortable to the point where people were like, are you okay? I'm like, oh yeah, I'm fine. So I said to them in my head, just tell me who you're for and tell me the message. I'll get it to them because I would like, to do it also.
wow. So you feel that.
And usually if that happens, it's an important message. So I have no problem with it.
For that college incident, did you go and find who that message was for?
Which one is that?
At the party, when you were at the party.
At the party.
Oh, I did.
You did?
I did. They helped me. And it was actually, I knew them not very well, but I did know them. And the good part is they knew what I did. So I was like, okay, I can do this.
So the person that you were getting the message to was they were open to it. They knew.
I guess they knew. I don't know if they were open to it or not, but at this point I was like, this has to be said. And in fact, it was about a watch that he wanted to sell.
Oh.
So it was a good message that he needed.
Wow, that's important.
Yeah.
It's good that you went the extra step to get the additional information to make it happen.
It was either that or just stand up on the table and say, listen.
Yeah, make the announcement. Okay, does anybody here...
Can anyone understand this message?
But you found the right person.
I did because they were persistent. And I said very calmly, if you really want this message, to get to the person, I have no problem. You need to guide me and lead me towards them, and they need to accept the message. And that's exactly what happened.
Unbelievable. That's awesome.
It's quite a gift, right,
Ben?
Yeah,
it's awesome.
It's
incredible.
Quite a gift that you have, my dear.
Thank you very much.
One of the things we love talking about here on the Medium at Heart podcast are feel goods. This is a term my sister came up with because in our lives, we need to build in feel goods. So Annette, explain to us what those are.
Okay, feel good. So whenever you want to manifest something in life, everybody knows the main ingredient is your feelings. You have to feel good because you're in alignment and that's your receiving mode, okay? So feel goods is something that makes you feel good. Like, for example, I have a feel good.
Okay.
This is my feel good. Being here, doing this, you, Ben, the audience, our loved ones, this is my ultimate feel good. It brings me amazing peace and joy in here. So therefore, if there's something I want to bring into my life, I'm going to bring it in right now, right?
So in other words, you're on set we're doing this podcast, and because you are having such a feeling of happiness and peacefulness and freedom, you are going to bring other things into your life while you're in the same vibe.
Exactly. Like when I leave here, I'm still going to be feeling great. So we're
Yes.
like, let me place my orders or order. So I place my order, imagine it, what I want to bring into
Give us an
my life.
example of placing an order that you'll
Okay,
leave it
so
when you
let's
leave.
say you want something in life. So in my mind, I say it up to the heavens. Here's what I need your help with to bring into my life,
Okay.
right? So I'll say that, and then I'll imagine what it feels like when I have it. I'll imagine seeing it. I'll imagine whatever, doing something with it, whatever it is that you want. And then more often than none, there'll come a point where I'll start to be like, well, how is that going to happen?
Oh,
How is that going to come to
Yes.
fruition? So I stop that thought.
yes.
Stop the thought immediately. It's okay. You placed your order. Go back to when you were feeling good. Listen to a good song, a good video, and just feel good.
Stay in that place.
They heard your order. Stay in that place. Promise you it works.
It's like riding the wave of authenticity.
100%.
Because when you're here, you are being true to yourself, your most authentic self. And that is the greatest feeling. And that's the feeling of freedom. When you're being your most authentic and doing what you love to do, which is this, you are in true alignment.
Yes. And even if some people, I run into some people that say, well, I don't know what to ask for. So then don't ask for anything. Just just feel good. Again, incorporate feel goods into your day.
This is a big one. This is a significant one, your podcast. So
Yes. What's your feel good?
So my feel good recently was I started writing again. I love
that.
writing. I've written some screenplays. I'm working on a screenplay that I absolutely love. And I look forward to that part of my day that I set aside, and I try to do it every single day, even if it's for a half an hour, to work on that thing that makes me feel most like myself and most on purpose. So I started writing a screenplay, and I actually look forward to it so much. I get my work done, and then I do my writing. And it feels so good. It doesn't feel like work. It feels like complete freedom.
Yes.
I just want to say, I think sometimes we don't do the things that feel the best because it feels so good. It doesn't feel like work enough. And so we tend to brush that stuff aside in order to do the things that maybe have a little bit of stress attached to them or challenge attached to them. And that's actually not what we should be doing. The thing that we feel most aligned with and most authentic with is the thing that feels so good and so natural. And for me, that's writing.
I love that you're incorporating that into your life right now. It's the greatest feeling. Pure
And when
peace.
I'm in that mode, you're right. It does
Yes.
feel so right. And then you make different decisions. I
Yes,
found this
you
to be
do.
true for me. When you're in alignment, you make decisions that just naturally lend themselves to your own personal, authentic, bigger picture.
100%. I agree. I agree with you. Yes.
But then there's the little tiny feel goods, and I have one for you. So this week I budgeted, I was very good. I budgeted for these slippers.
They're so cute.
These little slippers, I think they're somewhere around just over $10. They're called Snoozies. I got you a pair. These are yours.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much.
So I went to the store that sells these little Snoozies because the Snoozies I had from before were completely worn out, and I wear them around the house and I love them. And that was my little, my more little tangible. It didn't break the bank. I budgeted for it. Feel good. And while I was there buying these little Snoozies for myself, I got a pair for you
Well,
too.
thank you for sharing your feel good. I love that.
So that's like what. And so
Wait,
Ben,
yeah, what's your feel good?
Ooh, hello everyone. I have a feel good. So my feel good is it's kind of aligning with what you guys were saying on the fact of like you finding something that really makes you feel like you don't have to work or anything like that. So my feel good is playing music. When I play music, it's something that I almost get lost in, and all of my worries that I've been, anxiety or anything that I'm thinking of just goes away. I'm just in the groove thinking of what's next. So I would say my feel good is the ability to, keep playing music. So.
oh, I love that, Ben.
I love that. And the feel good it continues over. That is so good.
Oh yeah, and the mini feel goods I would say is maybe just in being in time, or just like looking at my bassist and like hitting a fill and he's like, oh, that was good,
Yes!
or something like that. So
love
I would say those are my little feel goods, so.
It's something I want to give you credit for, Ben. A couple of episodes ago, we were talking about our feel goods, and you said sunsets.
Yeah.
And ever since you said that, I have a new appreciation for watching the sunset. And I don't pick up my phone to take a picture because it's tempting to do that. I'm very present and I watch that sunset. And that came from you. And it's so peaceful and so serene. And I have such a feeling of being present. So that's also one of those feel goods that you can enjoy often. And thank you for that.
Of course.
We want to invite you, our Medium at Heart family community, to follow us on all the socials. We are on Instagram, we are on TikTok, we are on Facebook, and you can always drop us a line. We have been getting lots of emails.
We have. I'm so excited about them.
Yeah, thank you to everyone who's written to us. It means a lot to us to get your feedback. And you can write to us, mediumatheart@gmail.com. And of course, we read all of our emails. We see your comments, we get your direct messages, and we are just so grateful for you because you are really what makes all of this happen. If you have a story that you'd like to share, we love hearing your stories.
We do, yes.
Yes. And the feedback that we get is very, very important. So we hope that you will not only follow us, it's very important that you follow us. It allows us to, it fuels this podcast. Following us, subscribing to our podcast on Spotify, on Apple. We are on YouTube. If you become a subscriber on YouTube, that really makes a difference for us. And we would be so appreciative also if you share our podcast. You can share us through the socials, or you can just share this podcast with someone that you know would benefit from it. Sometimes, we're listening to something or watching something and we think of someone, oh, wow, this person really could use this right now, this kind of audio hug, this kind of information. So if you share that, everybody wins.
That is great. Keep feeling good, everybody.
And we'll see you on the next one.